start off with public input. Just to explain to everybody, I see a lot of new faces here. We have a 5-minute time limit on public input. Go ahead and start. Mr. Bracken?
Michael Bracken, 12 Tinker Drive in Windsor Locks. I'd first like to point out that I don't get onto internet that often. I really don't. I don't have internet at home, but occasionally I do get onto the internet, and I have been receiving some emails that somebody has been sending me, and it's basically, I know who it is. They're not harassing or anything, but somebody's been sending me copies of comments that are being made and being passed back and forth on the East Windsor Locks patch, and it's pretty discouraging when you see emails that are going back and forth between each other, or I shouldn't say emails, comments that are being made on the East Windsor Locks patch that are derogatory in nature towards each other. And you take a look at it, and it appears that some of them may be being made by police officers and others are being made by other persons. And it's just discouraging to think that there's a possibility that some of these are being made by police officers, especially when they're supposed to be people that you look up to. We went through this, or I went through this over a year ago, more than a year ago, where I was being harassed on the internet, and I filed a written complaint with the police department, and it turned out that it was a couple of police officers that were harassing me on the internet, and nothing was done about it. They supposedly received counseling, and at one point I talked about filing a civil complaint against one of the officers, and he came and he talked to me, and we ended up working the situation out. And I turn around and I look at the situation that's going on the internet, and like I said, it's been coming to me, the emails have been forwarded to me showing me what's going on, and I sit back and I look at this and I wonder what this police department is coming to, that members of this organization have to fight back and forth with each other on the internet and post nasty stuff back and forth. And I wonder why the chief can't clamp down on this. Now, you guys just passed new rules and regulations, and it involves your home activity as well, off-duty activity. And I don't understand why the chief of police can't contact Patch and say, hey, I want the names of these people that are involved, and if it involves your officers, put an end to it. And do the same on the other end. We talked previously on the last 3 people, or actually I guess you only hired 2 from the pre-certified officers that you had hired. And I saw emails coming from one of the officers that apparently had been hired, but then I guess you balked at him because he had 19 excessive force complaints filed against him in the city of Hartford. And I wonder, we talked about it at that time that there were pros and cons about hiring pre-certified officers, and I told you that sometimes you don't know what you're getting. And I guess that proves the point. When you hired somebody that had allegedly 19 physical abuse complaints filed against them in Hartford, and you turned around and you ended up letting them go, and now this person's harassing the person that told you about his complaints in the city of Hartford. And I wonder why you would even tell this person that he was given up by the person that saved you from hiring this person, because he would only came to Windsor Locks and been just as abusive to other people here in Windsor Locks instead of Hartford. And I turn around and I guess I answered my own question when I turned around and I did an FOI complaint of the town of Windsor Locks on Chief Suchocki just within the last couple of weeks, because I had done a previous FOI pertaining to money that was spent by Suchocki and Dineen, pertaining to money that was spent on Sarfati's evaluation of me that was used for my termination. And I found out that the town, or actually the police commission, excluding the 2 new commissioners, spent over $40,000 of taxpayer money in order to do the evaluation and Dineen's participation in that evaluation. And I just recently did another portion of that FOI, and I found out from Barbara Bertrand that there was never an appropriation done for that or a request for transfer of funds. So therefore, the money that was spent by Suchocki and Dineen was never appropriated. And I just left a selectmen's meeting, and I made our first selectman not happy because I come down on him. And the thing being is that it's not fair to him in a way, but then I have no other choice but to go to him because you people don't listen. And I've told you,
Thank you, Mr. Brackett.
my 5 minutes can't be up.
5 minutes is up. Is there anyone else for public input?
How about anybody else who'd like to go?
Is there anybody else for public input? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Sergeant Garofalo.
How you doing? I'm here before you, this commission. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Royston and Mr. Rochelle on the recent wins, and we look forward as a police department and the IVPO union, we look forward to working with you all. That being said, one of the things I'd like to point out, and obviously whatever public is here, they're gonna have something to rebut with this, but what we like to do is keep the progress going that we've made in the last 2 years as a commission with the hiring of the new chief, and the rank and file, the guys all feel he's doing a really good job. We're moving forward, something that we were kind of like spinning our wheels prior to the 2 years, and we just want to continue the progress, and hopefully we can all work together, again, union members and the commission, and hopefully we can continue this progress. So again, I want to thank you two gentlemen, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else for public input? Okay.
I do want to speak, Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you, Mr. Russo. Go ahead.
I'm sure you would like to. I'd just like to respond to Sebastian. I to him for moving the department forward, but you can't move the department forward if you have the same mentality that exists before the chief came. I personally think, in agreement with Michael Bracken, Chief, you need to do something with those officers who are posting on the internet. They're probably not using police department computers, but if they're on their iPhone and tying into the police department network, there's a connection there you probably don't want to know about. And I'll move on. I think you need to tighten up a little bit, and I think you need to get a little bit more timely when you receive letters that request a response. That's my only comment. Now, the next statement I'm going to make is subject to rebuttal. I'd like to make the statement first that you use the RUDEWICZ independent internal investigation to discipline and fire Sergeant Koistinen. Any objections to that? Okay, so noted. The statute of limitations felony is 5 years. If you read that RUDEWICZ independent police investigation, there is more than enough evidence there to charge the chief of police with felonies and civil rights violations of Henry Dang.
Ex-chief.
The ex-chief. And the commission, okay? Tonight, I'm here before you, and I'm going to ask that the police commission, based upon the RUDEWICZ investigation, and equal justice for union member, and equal justice for the public in Henry, that you request of the state police that that case be reopened to investigate the criminal conduct of Chief Suchocki. And if you choose not to, I would like a reason why you would choose not to. You've been asked previously if you would like to press charges. If you're going to have justice, have it be equal justice. And that's my statement. Any corrections? Am I wrong on anything I've said?
Notification.
Okay. Oh, and Commissioner Brace, tonight is a special meeting? Special meeting tonight?
Yes.
Did we agree that you were going to notify me? Did you notify me?
Yes, we did.
When? Yeah, okay, okay. The complaint's coming, thanks. And I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Okay. Okay, we'll go with the approval of the October 9th regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nay? Two abstentions? Okay, there is no correspondence. So we'll move to the chief's report.
Okay, Commissioners, if you look on the first one, just give you an update on hiring. Over the past 2 weeks, 3 new officers started, were hired and began their field training program. Officers Garcia, DeBello, and Foley. They're doing very well, and we're expecting them to finish their initial training, hopefully sometime mid-December. Fourth candidate scheduled to start January 6th. If all goes well with that, we will then have 26 sworn officers, 1 short of our 27 authorized strength in January of 14. So we're finally making progress there. It's been obviously a process, and we're very satisfied, happy with the quality of the candidates we're getting. Number 2 is Officer Malone and K-9 Jacks actually completed their narcotic detection training for the K-9. And he's scheduled for his certification test on the 23rd. The dog is doing fantastic all around, whether it's patrol work, tracking. It's one of the top dogs in the state already, getting a great reputation. And that's really a shout out to the handler and to the K-9 itself. And that will allow us to do, obviously, narcotic sniffs. And we anticipate that that's going to keep him very busy on the night shift. As reported last month, Officer Devaney was out injured. He was back to work. He was out 4.5 weeks on his injury. And he is 100% recovered and back to work, just for your knowledge.
Could the chief speak up or speak into that? We can't hear him at all back here.
Is that on? Is it good? In October, the department was recognized by the state DOT for its traffic enforcement program. We received a 3rd place award in the Municipal Academy. And really what this does with our enforcement efforts in the area of distracted driving, seatbelt violations, and driving under the influence enforcement. Officer Sean Berry spearheads this effort. He does the entire paperwork, puts the plan together each year, and also all the grant application, and funding submissions, and he's really to be commended for his dedication. He does an excellent job, and it's quite a bit involved, and that's obviously an additional duty to his patrol duties. So I just want to keep you informed of that. Also this morning, the department, and specifically Sergeant Garofalo, received an award from the Connecticut Domestic Violence Coalition for his work on a program. The department's one of the, I think, 7 or 8 departments in the state is doing a lethality assessment for domestic violence victims. A very important program, and he spearheaded the department's anti-domestic violence efforts. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, quick question for you. The 4 new officers that are coming on board, are those salaries that they're coming on board, is that in the budget range that you had projected?
Yes, that's all included in the budget.
Was in the initial?
Yeah, those are current positions that were up there.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on. Move on to new business. The election of Police Commission Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Secretary. We'll open up the floor to nominations for Police Commission Chairman. Are there any nominations?
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
consider it an honor and privilege to nominate you as chairman of our commission.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that.
Okay, is there any other nominations?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Mike Koistinen as chairman of this commission.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Okay. Okay, we'll open it up to discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, in support of your nomination, sorry. How's that? Better? In support of your nomination, I had thought about this and I put together some of the, want to touch on some of the things that you've accomplished in the first term here, and I hope you, at the end of this vote, you'll be granted a second term. You certainly, in my view, deserve it. But, so let me proceed with this. Kevin has been an honest, hardworking, and dedicated chairman who literally saved the police department was adrift and at an extremely low point due to the aftermath of the Henry Dang tragedy. He worked countless hours, even taking vacation time from his job to attend to the many dire issues confronting the police department at that time. The police department has rebounded since those trying times, mainly due to Kevin's extraordinary efforts and his leadership. Morale among the officers is at an all-time high. He has led this commission in the search for a new chief and the hiring of some very exceptional police officers. His hard work with the Board of Finance resulted in a budget that has enabled the department to attain full strength, which will be paying dividends for our citizens in police service and protection. His initiative and outreach to the Board of Education resulted in the installation of cameras at the skateboard park, which is a major factor in the crime reduction in the area. He led the campaign to resurrect our K-9 program, which is the envy of the surrounding towns, and is paying dividends in officer safety and apprehensions. These are just a few of the accomplishments that Kevin has achieved due to his devotion to the improvement of our public safety systems for our community. In my view, we owe Kevin a debt of gratitude, and he has earned and certainly deserves our support for another term as chairman. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman? I'd like to, I won't reiterate everything Jim has just said, but I'd like to also give you my support. The turnaround in this department in the last 2 years has been phenomenal. And it's in a large part because of your effort and the effort of the new chief and the officers, many of which are here tonight. We won't, we don't want to go backwards, and we want to go forward. And I think that's the way you'll lead us. Your efforts was almost a full-time, if not more than a full-time job at at your own expense. So I think we owe you a debt of gratitude, and I certainly want to support you for a second term. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, I just like to thank Jim and Neil for the kind words, and I also want to say that you know, it is a commission. You know, both Ed and Jim and Neil, and also George Hall and Dennis Granulotti. You know, we all work together, and you know, with the officers and especially the chief. You know, I think we've accomplished a lot, and I hope to accomplish quite a bit more in the future. So I thank you. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, we'll call the vote. All those in favor of myself, raise your hands. Okay. Okay. All those in favor of Mike Royston? Okay. Count 4-2. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and now I'll open up the floor for nomination of vice chairman.
Make a motion that Mike Lawson, Mike R. you promote as the chairman, the vice chairman's position, and followed a tradition that we've always had. One party is chairman, the other party is vice chairman. He's a very talented young man, has done excellent work at the Board of Education. He's a conservative, and in the future, I could really see him, or the other gentleman on his left-hand side, maybe as someday chairman. I would hope that he would get 100% of the vote from this commission, because he is a good person.
Okay, is there a second to that nomination? Okay, are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Jim Gaylord. He's a former chairman, and served on the commission for quite a good many years. Has a lot of experience as a former sergeant of state police, and I think he's done the job before, and I think there's a chance to do it again.
Okay, I'll second that. I'd like to open it up for discussion. Is there any discussion?
I think discussion is, I think, we have to share leadership. Jimmy is a tremendous person, but we have some new blood, some new ideas, and I'm sure Mike would be a grand assistant to you, Mr. Chairman, to learn some of your tricks, a trade, tricks. And Mr. Chairman, you've done an outstanding job, but you're not saintly. So occasionally, you need have the other side, which you always have, by the way, to help you in your judgment. We have to learn, and I think Mike would do an outstanding job, and I certainly hope that he accepts and gets this situation here.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, I'd just like to say that a lot of that, what's been accomplished within the department, has been a lot of me talking to Jim and really having that person to lean on with the police experience and just the knowledge that he brings, being vice chairman. So I appreciate Mike, and I think he would do a good job. I would just like to see things stay the course, at least for a little while, and until you got a little seasoning. But I guess we'll call the vote. All those in favor of Mike Royston signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those in favor of Jim Gaylord, raise your hand, signify aye. Aye. Okay. We have a tie vote. We'll open the floor up for nominations again.
To nominate Jim Gaylord again, please.
Okay. I'll second that. Is there another nomination?
Mike Royston.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of Jim Gaylord? Aye.
I do this whole meeting.
Okay, all those in favor of Mike Royston? Okay. All right. I suggest that we're at an impasse here, and I would suggest maybe a short recess so we can caucus. Good, okay. All right, we will return in a minute. I don't think so. I think it's just a recess.
That's-